Alright, here I have my Toro weed whacker, and this is model number 51972 from 2006. So unfortunately, my end broke off. So this is the one that's two-piece where you can attach different ends on it, and this is an aluminum pipe that eventually just fatigued and broke. Drive shaft runs through it. So my thought is I measured and it's about 1 1/8 outside diameter, just a straight pipe. I have a feeling that I can just take this apart. Should be able to pull it apart here. This is how you would take it apart to change the drive shaft. Take off the housing for the trigger and switch and all that. My little clamp for shoulder strap. My handle, that should slide out. Should be able to source another either aluminum pipe, or I think 1-inch EMT outside diameter is 1 1/8. So I think I should be able to just use a piece of EMT and slide it in there. That's the plan anyway. If it doesn't work, then I'll source a piece of aluminum pipe somewhere. So I'll start taking this apart and see what happens. So this looks like there's a T27 Torx and a Phillips, but I'm not sure whether it's different, but I'll take these off and see what's underneath. That one might not need to be taken out, we'll see in a second. You can take the air filter off and disconnect the electronics here too. These connectors here, they are greasy. I want to label these somehow. I don't think it matters. I think it's just an on-off switch, but I don't want to mess it up. That looks like a very small Torx to get the throttle cable off. We can just set the motor aside. So I did check. This one screw did have to come out. It actually screws into the aluminum rod here, or the aluminum pipe. So it does hold it in place. I guess it stops it from rotating maybe, and the other one, it just is a clamp to keep it in place. So once that's all off, a bunch of screws on this side we can just take apart. This should separate. I'm going to take my clamp off. I'm going to take my handle off. And then I'm going to measure this and see if I can order a part. So everything on the handle here seems to be a T20, but whatever yours has, just take them all apart and this will come off. There's all the screws from the housing and it should separate. You just want to be careful so you know where everything goes on the inside. Looks like this switch has to pop out somehow. Oh, you know what? It just slides right off. That makes it easy. There's a couple of ridges here, but I think that's just crushed from this. I don't think that's in the design. It should be okay to go back together with just a straight piece of pipe. I don't think you have to buy it from Toro. So they actually don't make this part anymore. So that's the piece that broke off. It just fatigued the metal and snapped. So I got myself a measurement, but as I was kind of taking it apart, it's very hard to see inside, but there's actually a bushing inside there that I'm not sure if it comes out. It keeps the drive shaft in place and I can't actually remove the drive shaft. So I'm not sure what to do. At this point, I might cut it out and figure out if I can get it out that way, but I'm not sure where to get a new part if I can't repair this one. I'll try it anyway and see what happens. Okay, so this is the bushing I was talking about. I just put the drive shaft in my vise, and it appears that I can just slide the drive shaft right out. So now I can actually have an empty pipe. As long as I get the right inside diameter, this should slide right back in, and this should be good as new. Okay, so I did some measuring on this, and it might be a little awkward to find a part. I'm not sure yet. So the OD here, the outside diameter here, is exactly 1 inch. You're not going to see it anyway. And on this side here, I did notice it was flared a bit, but I thought that was actually fatigued when it broke. But it flares out to 1 1/8. So it's 1 inch to 1 1/8. So trying to find something that flares out like that might be difficult. Might have to get something made or find a piece of pipe that flares like that. I don't know. I think it's flared just so this has room to rotate in there. It might not need it. It might be okay because there's nothing here that's 1 1/8. Everything will fit inside the 1 inch inside diameter or outside diameter tubing. All right, a little more investigation, and it flares out to 1 1/8, not to accommodate this, but to accommodate your add-ons. So this has to slip inside the 1 1/8. So I do need to get it from 1 inch at that end to 1 1/8 at this end. So that I do actually have to work on. I'll figure something out. Maybe. Let me check something else here. Yeah, the hole in here is exactly 1 inch, so I can't even slip a 1 1/8 in there. I will look around and see if I can figure something out.